My name is Andy Costello. I look after our Skills for Life products, one of which is Essential Digital Skills. What I want to do first of all is just give you a little bit of background to Essential Digital Skills. So they came about really from the DFE publishing some national standards for essential digital skills. They were first published in 2015, and then they were reviewed more recently in 2019. They were kind of influenced by the Lloyds Bank Consumer Digital Index, which is a metric for the level of digital skills in the UK. And you know, the reason for these skills to come about really is we're seeing an increasing number of services that are available online. So you've got a lot of government services like renewing your passport or getting a passport in the first place, taxing your car, local councils. You know, I pay for my garden waste service online, and you know, money management like banking and pension services are all accessible online now. And then finally, in terms of sort of shopping, you can buy your groceries online now. And you know, many people did that throughout the pandemic, you know, you can even online now buy a new or a used car. So lots of different services really being driven towards that kind of online market. So just a bit of background in terms of essential digital skills and a few sort of key figures, which I think some of the other presenters have mentioned earlier. But there are 11.8 million people, or 36% of people who lack digital skills needed for work. So you know, quite a big number. And then sort of linked to that, about 11 million people, or 21%, lack the digital skills needed for life. And then roughly about 10 million people who do not have any foundation skills, and I'll come on to what I mean by that. So these are what are classed as the foundation digital skills. There are seven really basic skills which, if people don't have them, then they are classed as digitally excluded. You know, so you can see how it's sort of basic. Some of those skills are being able to log into a computer, turn it on. Even if you don't have any of these skills, then you're digitally excluded. If you can't do any of those 7 skills, then you're classed as digitally excluded. And the DFE defines these as pre-entry level skills. I just included this pyramid diagram because I think it's quite useful to kind of explain where essential digital skills qualifications fit. So you can see there what we just mentioned, the digitally excluded, and that's anybody who can't do one of those 7 skills that we've just seen on the previous slide. The foundation level is where people can perform all of those 7 skills independently, and then the essential digital skills qualifications don't really kick in until the life and work parts of the pyramid there. So the government's response has been obviously through the DFE to create an essential digital skills standards. They've also recently updated them, and the update brought in the concept of digital skills for life and work. The digital entitlement that they created is a legal entitlement, so it kind of brings digital skills more on a par with the likes of English and maths, which are there are already legal entitlements around. And then what that means is that there is funding available for the entry 3 and the level 1 essential digital skills. But what has also happened is the withdrawal of funding for all other entry 1 to level 1 qualifications in this sector. So that includes any that are in ICT for users under that sector subject area. So that is any other digital quals in that space. So really essential digital skills, and coming soon, the reformed ICT functional skills, which will be called the digital functional skills. They will be the only ones that attract any ESFA funding going forward. So our approach as an awarding organisation, quite unsurprisingly, was to develop some qualifications, but we've not just stopped there, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. We have an entry 3 qualification and a level 1 qualification in essential digital skills, both for 45 hours of guided learning. Both have assessment online, and we are fully approved by Ofqual and regulated, and then we launched those qualifications in September last year. So our qualifications are based on the Department for Education's national standards for essential digital skills, and the purpose of those standards is to enable learners to function effectively in an increasingly digital world. So broadly, they are for people who have low or no digital skills and knowledge. And our qualifications, we chose to cover all parts of the 5 skills areas at both entry 3 and level 1. Then in terms of how they're structured, each skills area is broken down into a series of skills statements. And it's these statements that our assessments focus around. So just a little bit more on the skills statements. This is an example of some of the skills statements that we use. So you can see here, this is the transacting skills area, and it's broken down into 2 skill statements, one about using online services and one about buying security online. You can see the difference in terms of the expectation, entry level and a level 1. And then sitting behind that is amplification, which gives you a little bit more depth to what we're expecting in terms of the assessment, and there is also a glossary that you can see some of the key terminology and things is defined for you. Our process around essential digital skills is relatively straightforward. You can see there the little circles on the screen. We do have a diagram, a process diagram that we have the centres, and linked to that you can access a range of training videos as well. So you can really kind of use that diagram to train new staff. We have been running training sessions with centres as well to really give people a good understanding of the essential digital skills and how our qualifications work, and what centres are what parts of centres are responsible for, and where NSCN will take the reins. So broadly speaking, what you would do with a learner is you would register them, you would schedule their assessments. In between that, you would be doing the training with the learner. Learner sits their assessment, and they sit parts 1 and 2 in our assessment platform, and then part 3 is what we call our observations, and they're going to do that with their tutor, and then the tutor marks all of the work, and you run through your internal quality assurance process. Once you're happy with it, you submit that. It goes to our external quality assurance process, and then assuming everything is okay with that, a result is issued. So the assessment, I just alluded to it a little bit there, but there are 3 parts to our assessments. We have the first part is a knowledge test, and this is 12 multiple choice questions with 1 STEM, 1 correct answer, and 3 distractors. And these questions test learner recall and their application of knowledge. Scenario-based tasks is the biggest part of the assessment. This part is really task-based. So we set a series of tasks for the learner to read the paper, and they have to use their practical skills and apply their knowledge. And then finally, for anything that we couldn't assess by the other two methods, we used an observation method to assess those skills. So often that's where there's little naturally occurring evidence, or where performing a task would be distracting or difficult within an exam situation. So our essential digital skills assessment, you see some of the weightings there, 2 levels. What you will notice is that at entry 3, we've got a much more even spread, and then at level 1, the assessments are more focused on creating these devices, and that's because we see the entry 3 probably more suited to people needing life skills, and the level 1 we're starting to move towards work skills. So that's kind of where the emphasis changes slightly. However, I would say that they are relevant to everybody really. We've not focused one particularly around work and one particularly around life. So the examples and things that are used within the qualifications, we use a mixture. Our assessments are designed to be assessed online, so they are browser based. So you log into a web browser as a learner. There's no special software or downloads needed, and we've designed some simulated environments for tasks such as for the buying online, where we couldn't actually require as part of an assessment a learner to buy something online. So we've simulated those environments, we've created realistic websites that a learner can go on and actually purchase an item. We tried to open up the assessment so that a range of devices can be used. So on the observation part of the assessment, a learner can use really any device that they feel comfortable with, which really helps to kind of make it accessible to a number of different learners. And then we weren't happy really with our existing marking solution. So you can see there a screenshot of our new marking platform, which is called Quick Marker. And Quick Marker is an on-screen marking platform, and we designed it to really alleviate the strain on markers' time, whilst enabling every learner to prove their skills in a fair, valid and reliable way. Quick Marker was that solution that we developed. We weren't happy with what we got. We didn't think it would work for essential digital skills. We prioritised then, that previous slide, you saw a screenshot of the marking platform. And essentially it works around presenting the learner's evidence that they've completed as part of their assessment in a format that can then be easily and quickly marked. So the system uses simple workflows, and we're actually just working on an enhancement to the workflows so that we will have roles in the system now. So we will have a marker role and we will have an IQA role. So you can really kind of start to record that audit trail for quality assurance purposes. You can kind of really demonstrate that you're following appropriate IQA processes. In terms of support that we offer to our centres, as I've said, we've got a process diagram which sits in our vLearn platform. You can see a screenshot there from our vLearn platform. Within that diagram, that process map, there are a series of videos, and these can be used for training of staff. We recommend that every centre, for any new staff, be given that process diagram, so they can run through the videos and really see and understand how the platforms work, different parts of the process work, how the platforms work, what their role is as a tutor. And we also have optional videos like remote vigilation, but we've also got we developed some videos that are specifically targeted at learners. So there are some videos that help them prepare for their assessment, and then linked to that, we've got in terms of materials, we've got some sample assessments which sit in our assessment platform. So as soon as a learner is registered, we encourage learners to be starting to go on and have a look at sample assessments and try and use the platform, the assessment platform, so that when they do come to the actual assessment, there are no surprises and they're able to use the system. They've used it before using the samples. We also provide guidance and instructions for centres, and we've just launched a new initial assessment tool, which again is provided through our VLearn platform. If you go into the documents section, if you are a centre, go to the document section and you'll find it in there. We're also working on a number of other resources, so diagnostic and self-assessment tools, which are coming soon, and some interactive learning content. We just finished off first unit interactive learning content, and we are kind of working through the other parts of the standards, so that you've got some really good content you can use to support your learners. And then, reasons to choose NOCN for these qualifications, because there are a number of providers out there that do offer these qualifications, but I think these are some of the key reasons that you would choose NOCN. I feel like having seen other assessments on the market, I think ours are some of the most realistic assessments that you can get. We do use, where possible, real world contexts. So really, it's not about training for the test, it's about training the learners in the skills that are part of the standards, in the way that they're described in the standards. If you do that, then your learners will stand a very good chance of passing our assessment. And then, we obviously offer lots of guidance. We talked about the sample assessment. There is an option for remote vigilation. So if you are interested in that, I would suggest you talk to your business development manager, and they'd be happy to sort of take you through the options that are available there. We've got an online marking tool which makes it really easy and quick to do that marking. We've obviously just launched that initial assessment, and we've got a number of other resources coming too. We try to turn around the results very quickly. We say a maximum of 10 working days at the moment, but if you do gain something called direct claim status, then we're actually turning that around incredibly quickly. So you're almost looking at, once you've done the marking process, you're almost looking at results. And I just want to just stop it there and just see if we have any questions.